Okay, we have a quick video I'm going to do on this little bad boy here, which would be the Zero Tolerance 0561. It's not a review per se, it's more of just my thoughts, kind of like a first impressions type of thing, although this is after 3 months or so of use of having this knife. It's a large folder. I like it. I like the texture of the G10 handles, and I believe this is supposed to be the titanium slab or face on the other side. I'm a big fan of the size, the overall size. Big fan of the blade size. And I have to say I'm loving the flipper. That's, for me, is probably the best assisted opener, or the best opener for a folder that I have so far. You know, I've got thumb studs and you know, like the Spyderco hole on a pair of 2, that type of stuff, and you know, I have to say I really enjoy the flipper. Sorry if I'm not keeping this in frame. I'm trying to do that, but let me just adjust my camera here a bit. Yeah, but this knife is awesome. It's fun to play with. It's functional. I really like the profile of the blade. Came fairly sharp. I'm not a huge fan, and this is kind of where I start to get into the negatives. I'm not a huge fan of the edge angle. I'm sure it's somewhere in the 25 range or so. Something I'd like to mod on my Lansky. However, after thinking about that, I did that to my SR1 and it performed much better. It worked and processed wood, you know, very well. As well, and even, you know, better than some of the fixed blades I have. But I kind of don't want to do that to this one. You know, I've got a folder. I'm not a big folder in the woods or folder in the bush type of guy. I'm a fixed blade guy, but it's, you know, it's nice to have something small in your pocket like that, whether it be a Swiss Army knife or, you know, even just a small necker is great. But nothing wrong with having a folder in the pocket as an additional backup. But I just don't feel a need to bring this one with me. I think my SR1 is going to be the one for the woods. And this is just going to be more of an EDC folder for me, so I may not do much more than touch up the edge a little bit with sandpaper and straw. Anyways, all that being said, other points on the knife. I'm not a huge fan of the lanyard hole here, but I'm not a lanyard guy on folders anyway. I'm not even a lanyard guy on my fixed blades, really, unless it's a heavier blade and I can put a pinky lanyard on to get a good choke down grip. So anyways, lanyard hole for me, it's not an issue. I find the jimping on the frame to be a little aggressive. I don't see much point, for me at least, I don't see much point in this. It's got it on the blade, and that's, you know, that's usually sufficient. I like how the assisted part of the blade here, or the opener, of course ends up becoming your little finger guard, which is nice. That's a really nice benefit, I assume, to that flipper style. At least I think it's a nice benefit. But yeah, the jimping's a little aggressive, and because it's done straight through into the G10, as you can see here, it's even more aggressive. It's squared off as opposed to rounded, so I find that that's a little rough and bites in a little bit more than it needs to. What else can I talk about here? My particular 0561, I get a bit of blade play. It's just a matter of tightening the pivot screw, and it actually went a long while before that started to shift on me. But I'm finding no other folders that I have, and I've got 4, I think 4 or 5 have ever had the blade play come like that, and this is, I think, the most expensive one, so I find that kind of interesting. I would have liked to seen them put a bit more thought into, and I'm not a folder guy, I'm not a knife guy as far as, you know, understanding the mechanics of a folder, certainly by any means, but whatever system they put in here of washers or spacers, I just would have liked to have seen something done with a bit more thought into long-term use, especially with that being such an aggressive open, just by design. I find that's, you're probably going to get a lot of, you know, a lot of action on that particular pivot screw. So I would have liked to have seen a bit more thought put into that, but that's a minor thing. And that's, like I said, that's coming from an amateur as far as folders are concerned, as far as understanding them. I've never taken one apart to clean it. You know, I'm not one of these guys. Sherman, you know, hands down, you know your folders, brother. And I'm just not one of those guys. Pocket clip's good. Pocket clip sits pretty high on the knife for me. There's, you know, there's very little of the blade sticking out. Again, kind of in the vein of the jimping. Like, it's a small thing, it really is, but it's kind of thing that irritates me, and that's the frame and the G10 slabs here not lining up. There's a gap right here, or a gap. There's a hangover, or overhang, I guess I should say, using proper English, where the G10 doesn't quite come up to the edge of the frame of the blade, and I just, little things like that, especially at a pricier knife, irritate me. I just think it's, I mean, everything's made up of small things, you know, and that comes true of everything else as far as physical things, you know, little details. I got to pay attention to little details, and I just feel like it's a small one, and it really has no effect to the knife, you know, positive or negative, no effect that way, but it irritates me. It's a small thing, but it irritates me. Jimping. One thing I didn't understand, and, you know, maybe someone watching this can point that out to me, I didn't think it was necessary to put the jimping in here either. The aggressiveness of that's just, to me, completely pointless. But was the traction, it's not quite jimping, it's more of a traction grooves put into this, and I'm not sure why they're on that side. I can't imagine holding the knife like this, where you would need that little bit of traction there. I really can't. It's not comfortable, it's not functional, it's you know, nothing like that. And that's in the open position. Closed, you know, we're looking at the same thing here. I flip it from this side, so why the traction or the jimping here? I don't get that. So anyone have any ideas, or does anyone know why that's there? I sure would like to, because I sure would like someone to tell me, because I don't know, maybe I'm stupid, I just can't figure that out. I can't figure why that would be there whatsoever. So fill me in, somebody clue me in on that. Other than that, like I said, you know, it's a good knife. There's not too many negatives for me. I don't like blade play, so that little bit of detent, or the little bit of blade play that came up, the detent is excellent. A little bit of blade play that has come up is a minor thing, like I said. I can take care of that myself. Another big thing here is the, I don't know why the G10. I thought at first this was a mistake, where the frame is down further in here, you can see, and the G10 comes up over it. But I soon realized that was just to keep it even. If I can get this. With this side of the frame, with the titanium side, that was to bring it up. I don't know why that wasn't done in the design. That's another thing that irritates me, though, is the frame doesn't match up with the G10 scales. And I don't quite get that. Something to do with the function of it, I'm sure, but again, it's just another small thing to me that just looks sloppy and rushed. I don't know. I could be wrong. But, yeah, I think that's it, folks. I think that's all that stands out to me. Again, jimping, I'm just not finding a need for it. It's really minor. To me, it's not assisting with the grip of the knife. I don't see how it's going to do that for me, for my hand. You know, it's more of a squeeze issue. The curvature of the handle and the way it's shaped, the ergonomics of it, if you will, allow for a purchase that doesn't, you know, slip, doesn't come into play. So I think this was another piece that was unnecessary. I don't know if it had to do with the design issue and it was done to balance the design overall. I don't know. But there you have it. Anyways, Zero Tolerance 0561. Excellent folder. I really do recommend it to anybody. It's, you know, it's a tool. I get that, but I dare anyone who likes folders or knives not to find doing that fun. It just, it really is. It's a really quick open. I like it a lot. Overall, love the knife. As I said, recommend it to anybody. I'm going to do a small or a short review on it soon, as far as, you know, maybe EDC tasks versus bushcraft tasks, something like that, and just see how it performs in both. But there you are. Any questions, concerns, comments, requests? As always, please don't hesitate to ask. I hope everyone enjoyed, and be well.